something I can never be without, yeah. I'm in your command. Thought I was a man of my own, but it's been 2 years. I'm only a shadow of the good on me now. A breeze in my ear, 'cause you know I cannot say no to you. Feeling like home, but should it be like this? Locked up in your dome, you know I fight for you. What do I do? Every time you call my name, what do I do? You're whipping me into madness. I try to leave.
Welcome to a typical weekend in our house. Laundry piled up, clothes all over the floor, and just the usual mess. Today's video is going to be another fun one because we get this messy house picked up, and I also put Chris, my husband, to work. I have all of these DIY projects that I want to do. I blame Chip and Joanna Gaines from Fixer Upper because I just want to do like all of this DIY stuff to our house. So if you were here last year and you watched me, then you noticed that I kind of updated these niches in our house, and we never finished painting the top of them. Like, it's been a year, and I'm like, hopefully no one looks up there and notices. So I have a fun project to kind of DIY those and give those a little bit of an upgrade. So that whole project, which I'll show in the second half of this video after all of the cleaning motivation, was probably about $200, and it would have been cheaper if I didn't pick out the bougie expensive paint. But other than that, it was fairly inexpensive, and I think it turned out amazing. If you're new here, I'm really glad to have you in this amazing growing community. And if you're wondering why I had so much laundry, well, I have two toddler girls, Sailor, who is 4, Savannah, who is 2.5, and my husband and I get to the laundry when I get to it. I hate that it piles up that much, but unfortunately, that's just what happens sometimes. So I'm gonna hopefully take care of a lot of that today and give you some laundry and folding motivation. I'm starting off here in the kitchen before moving on to the living room, and then I'll move on to the bedroom while still doing laundry in between. And then upstairs is our daughter's playroom, so I'm going to kind of tidy that up a little bit, as well as Sailor's bedroom. And then once we kind of get the whole house picked up is when we can start our DIY project. Make sure you're subscribed if you have not already, because I do have a lot of fun, different stuff coming up. Like I said, we're doing some more projects. I'm going to be doing some decluttering, some organizing, and some more DIY projects along with all of the cleaning motivation. So if that's something that you're interested in, then I would love for you to hit that red subscribe button.
Right now I'm standing in a corner. I see you from across the room. It's kinda crowded here, but I know you see me too. Everybody's singing, oh, everybody's singing, oh. I don't know what it is about you. It must be in the way you move. Just say you want me to. We got nothing to lose. You're looking so old. You're looking so old. Now I'm moving closer to you, and it's getting dark in this room. Tell me what you wanna do.
So I keep talking about all of these projects that I want to do in our house, and if you follow me over on Instagram, which is Michelle O'Malley 711, then you'll notice that we went to a tile store, and I also talked about redoing our closet. And what happened is that I had asked you guys also one time about the IKEA pack system. So it had been a couple of weeks, and we were finalizing this design that we want, because you can go into their website and make this design that fits basically the measurements of your closet, and you can customize it however you want, and make everything just fit in your space. And Chris and I were disagreeing about some of the stuff, and then finally we came up with a solution. We put together the perfect design, and we had planned on, ripping out all the carpet in our closet, taking everything out, customizing it with the IKEA pack system. And when I went to order the whole system, half of everything was out of stock. It just said, it's no longer in stock, it's unavailable, and it wouldn't tell me like when it was coming back into stock. So I just felt really bummed about that. I also went to like Container Store and got a quote on the design, and it was like almost $7,000. So I was like, I just can't. The IKEA one, even though it seems expensive, it was around like $2,000, which is still expensive, but I mean, not compared to like a custom closet like $7,000. So I'm not sure what to do. I'm thinking about just holding off and waiting for it to come back in stock, which I don't know when that is. Or if you guys have any ideas, did you guys do like any type of home closet system or anything like that, and can give me some tips? That way, because I want to get started on it sooner rather than later.
Let me love you. Baby, let me love you. Let me love you. Let me love you. Let me love you.
The dish soap that I just used there, that's the Method soap. I like the Method. I use a lot of their products, especially in the laundry room. I like their multi-purpose spray as well as their dish spray. And I also use the Dawn soap. So after like reading this article, I've shared it a couple of times, but it talks about how, if you're cleaning a lot, if you are using cleaning products that are toxic, then over time, it can, like over a 20-year period, it can be like the equivalent to your lungs as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. So I was reading some studies about it, and to think about sometimes how much we actually clean our house and how we're always using the chemicals, whether we're wearing gloves or not. We're still breathing in those fumes, or the fumes are just hanging out for a while after we're done cleaning. So my whole purpose was to try and go 80% non-toxic. Now, there's still some products I use that have chemicals. Sometimes they just clean a little bit better, but the whole concept was for me to go 80%. And the Method cleaners, the Jaws cleaners, Mrs. Meyer's, a lot of those products are what I have been leaning more towards and kind of finding myself buying a lot more, because I like the fact that they don't have a ton of chemicals in them.
For the night, all in or nothing, not gonna stop, dance till the morning light. I just wanna be around you. I just wanna be around you. He looks at me like I know what he's thinking, but I don't have a clue. True talent in avoiding conversation, yeah, it's almost rather cruel.
So I don't think I've mentioned this for a while. A couple things that make our bed really, really comfortable, whether it looks like it's comfortable or not, is that we got, like over Christmas time or before Christmas, we got this Lucid mattress pillow top pad. And it was from Amazon, and it was like around $100, I think. But the price just depends on what size your bed is. So we added that to our bed, and it makes our bed so comfortable. Another thing is that we use bamboo sheets. So these are the Caralua bamboo sheets. This is my second pair of sheets that I have that are Caralua, and they are so comfortable. These are a little bit more pricey, but I mean, I have tried so many different types of cotton, 100,000 thread count, whatever, and I always feel like I'm sleeping on sandpaper. So until I found these like bamboo sheets, then I have not been able to ever go back. Now there's other pairs, like in Sailor's bedroom, I have it's not the Caralua brand, but it is a bamboo type sheet, and her sheets are so comfortable as well. So they are amazing. If you haven't tried them, or if you're just like looking for new sheets, then I recommend looking up the Caralua bamboo sheets. Here I'm using the Method laundry detergent, but I'm also mixing it with a cap of this Glamorous Wash. So the Glamorous Wash has a very strong scent, but it smells so good. So sometimes when I'm washing like sheets or towels or anything like that, I'll just add one cap of that to whatever laundry detergent I already have, which is mostly Method. That's what I've been using the last several months, and it just comes out smelling really, really nice.
I'm out of reasons, I'm out of rhyme, but I'll only tell you that I'm out of time. I'm sick of love songs, I'm tired of this, and I wanna tell you straight just like it is. You're watching me like you're wanting me, but you're still holding back, still holding back. Honestly, you're annoying me with the way that you keep playing.
Now moving on to all of the folding of the laundry. I always fold clothes on my bed. I don't know why. I've seen people do it on their couches or in their laundry room or whatever. Our laundry room is kind of small, so I always just take it over to my bed, sort it out, and fold it. And I have that little basket there because I fold KonMari style. Totally game changer. You should definitely try it if you don't already fold in this method. It's a little intimidating at first. Whenever the KonMari method came out several years ago on Netflix, I did not want anything to do with it. I was like, that's going to take me years to fold clothes. Until I actually started trying to get better at organizing and things like that is when I gave it a try, and I have not gone back to another type of folding method. It just makes everything so much nicer, obviously easier to see as well. So leave me a comment down below. Do you typically fold KonMari style like I do, or do you just fold it kind of the regular way? Do you have drawer organizers? Are you more organized or less organized for your clothes? Leave me a comment down below and let me know.
Like you're fearless, steal all the gold you can get, you can get. Show me your love, leave me breathless, breathless. Show me your love like it is, like it is. Bend open my heart like you're fearless. Steal all the gold you can get, you can get. Show me your love, leave me breathless, breathless.
Next, we are moving on upstairs. I have all of this laundry to carry up, and I am going to have the girls help me clean up a little bit. Now, this room is not that big of a disaster to me. If you have seen some of my other videos, you've seen that it is way worse. But as you can see, there are stickers all over the wall. I think one of the friends came over and put them all over the wall, but I'm just going to have the girls take them down and also help me pick up around here. But I did just want to say that I am so glad that you guys enjoyed last week's video. I have gotten so much positive feedback from that, as well as it was so much fun for me to make and do something different. So it was the black light cleaning video. It definitely did not get pushed out because it was so different, but just judging by your comments, you guys really enjoyed being different, unique, and like posting something kind of way out there. So it was definitely eye-opening to see some of those really, really dirty areas that we can't see with a blind eye, but we can see when we use a black light. But this kind of leads me into my next topic of just these last couple of weeks. I don't know what has gotten to me, but I have been so unmotivated. I have literally been questioning a lot of things. I have been wondering if I should, stay on this journey. I have been just in this weird funk about what the next steps are for me and, where I want to take, all of these next steps. And it's not like me to come on here and be the one who is unmotivated, because that's always my job, is to motivate you. But one of the things I did, I started another audiobook. As you know, I'm always listening to audiobooks. And I'm reading the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. So one of the first habits, and maybe I'll share a lot of this throughout the books, is being proactive and taking responsibility for your life. Now, I truly believe in life that there are just some things that happen that are unfair. I think that some things are just out of our control. But what he says about being proactive is that You can't keep blaming everything on outside factors, on other people, on other things that have happened. So instead of always trying to change or blame outside factors, being proactive is changing from the inside out. He also talks about being proactive and reactive. So being proactive is working on the things that we can do something about, our health, our children, our problems, things at work. And being reactive is focusing on things we have little or no control over, such as the weather. I heard this quote by Jim Quick, and I will always remember it. It goes, "If an egg is broken by an outside force, life ends. If it's broken by an inside force, then life begins." Great things always happen from the inside. Now, I believe that motivation comes from within. But how do you change that when you're not motivated? Well, for me, listening to positive affirmations, listening to audiobooks, listening to stories of hope and accomplishment, keeping my small circle of influence positive and uplifting are things that really help me get out of that funk and get remotivated and on track. Because these things are so helpful to me, that's why I like to share them all with all of you. So for now, I'll recap the 7 habits of highly effective people from Stephen Covey. Habit number 1, being proactive and focusing on things that are in our control, such as ourselves. So as I get through the book, I'd love to share more as well as my perspective on it and how it has helped me.
When someone don't help you, when someone don't help you through the rain, when feelings don't matter, and everything's nothing but a game. Just know that I'm with you. Just know that I'm with you through it.
So the next day after I had cleaned up everything, our dog Piper had been throwing up a lot, and she ended up walking over to our living room rug and throwing up all over the rug. So I pulled out the Bissell little green machine. I opened it up in last week's video. I had it for a while and just finally opened it up last week. So I pulled it out so that I could work on these 2 spots that are really yellow, and they're actually really hard to get out. We started off using the pet solution that it came with, and when I was doing all of this, Chris came home from work and decided to try and come and help me. Now, his preference for this is using a shop vac and soap and water, but he just was like, let's go get that warm water and the soap and water and then kind of put it on the rug and start scrubbing it. So he's down there now kind of scrubbing it and with just Dawn soap and hot water and trying to get it up, and then using the Bissell machine to suck everything up. This living room rug is very thin. I do have a rug pad underneath, and we did check it like afterward to make sure that not like a lot of the water didn't soak underneath. But what I'm going to have to do is probably in the next video, I'm going to get out the full-on shampooer and do the entire rug, because it didn't get it out as much as I wanted it to. It did a really good job, but there's still, you can still see like the tint there. So we're just gonna have to do as much as we can here, and then next week I'll go ahead and get out the bigger shampooer and do the entire rug.
'Cause you and me been fighters since we were born. It's all over our bodies and hearts. Yeah, you and me been fighters right from the start.
Now we are moving on to part 2 of the video, which is the Entryway Makeover DIY. And see what I mean by the top niches up there were not painted. They were not all the way painted. That is something that we are going to finally fix. The reason why we didn't get all the way up there is because we have to have the really tall ladder, and the big ladder is in Chris's storage unit, which is not that close to our house. So it's just kind of a pain, and we honestly just took too long to go and do it. So my whole idea here was that if you haven't watched our bedroom DIY makeover, we actually paneled the top ceiling of it. It looks really cool. I'll link that video down below. So my idea was to get the same type of like paneling boards and do that in these niches right in our entryway. The paneling that we use is super affordable. We just bought 4 different panels to fit into each archway, and each panel board was like $25. So total for just the paneling board, it was $100. And then I decided to use the same paint. So I used the tricorn black paint by Sherwin-Williams, which was already in those archways. I decided to go ahead and keep it black because I just liked the look of it. The first thing that Chris is doing is taking measurements and trying to figure out the exact sizing so that we can cut the paneling boards exact. So he's going to go ahead and use a saw and start sawing out the archways. Now, the reason why we use like this one solid paneling board instead of like individual wood panels is because it is a lot cheaper. It's so much easier because you can just put on one whole sheet at a time, and it's not individual, and it's a lot lighter. We used the same type of board for the ceiling in our bedroom, and like I said, we liked it because it was very light. It wasn't like super, super heavy. You don't have to worry about it falling, which I'm sure it doesn't really fall that often. That's not that common, but it's just something that was easy. We used smaller nails, and everything just looks amazing, and you can hardly even tell that it's not like real wood.
I see a sky with a reindeer car, but I'm running. I see a train moving all too fast, but I'm not leaving. And you go round and round and round, and you cannot see. I will ride behind you, honking the tree. You look so beautiful today, and how the game is changing. Just like this.
Once we got all of the panels to fit perfectly in each niche, then that's when I started painting. So again, I am using the Sherwin-Williams tricorn black in a satin finish. I used the brush to get the majority of the paint on, and then I had to go back with the paintbrush and actually paint in between the grooves. I had to put about 2 coats of paint on this before allowing it to dry, and then coming back and putting 1 more additional coat on it. Because our master closet project got put on hold for a while since all of the parts are pretty much out of stock, and I have no idea when they're coming back in stock, then our next big project is going to be our laundry room. So we went out and bought tile for our laundry room. We are going to be ripping out all of the tile on the floor, replacing it with new tile. I think I'm going to be wallpapering one of the back walls, getting a new light fixture, and making over our entire laundry room, as well as putting in a better organization system, because as you saw before, we just have clothes everywhere all over. So that is also going to be an upcoming project, as well as our office area closet. I'm going to be ordering a closet system. The one I wanted from IKEA is out of inventory, so I found one on Wayfair that I'm going to order. I'm going to organize that whole room, as well as put in a functional closet. I told Chris our next home is going to be a fixer-upper, so we're going to practice a lot of smaller projects on this home. Do you guys have a fixer-upper? How challenging was it? Do you like DIY projects? Do you like already built projects? Have someone come and do it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know. Now that we have all of the paneling boards painted, all of the paint is dry, then Chris is going ahead and nailing it into the wall. Once he gets everything nailed into the wall, then he is going back around and caulking the edges to fill in any of those additional gaps. The very first paneling, he had already put it into the wall, nailed it in, sanded the edges, caulked it, and dried in everything. And that is why I'm painting it on the wall. That was kind of the tester. He wanted to put them all on the wall and then paint them, and I wanted to paint them in the outside and then put them in later on, because it's so much easier to do the edging of the paint if they are not already on the wall. So that is why we just had one that I'm painting on the wall. While I'm doing this, he's going in on the other ones and kind of doing the caulking, edging, sanding off where the nail holes are, and then going back with the black paint and then touching up those areas. Now we are putting in the final paneling board on this top left niche, and he is going to go ahead and nail it in. Now it looks so much better from before. If you just like glance at it, you already saw that it was black and maybe couldn't tell, but I promise you it looks so good. So the next thing we're doing is putting the pictures back into this area. And another really cool thing that I have seen in so many of the home renovation channels, Fixer Upper, Flipper Flop, all of these things are these little lights that you can put over a really nice picture frame to kind of illuminate it and make it look super fancy. So I picked up 2 of these from Amazon. They were like 30 something bucks each, so very inexpensive, and they're not battery operated, but you actually can charge them. So they're rechargeable, and all you do is like slide them off and then plug them into the wall and recharge them. But there's this little button on the side. All you have to do is press it, and then the light turns on and off, and you can also dim the lights as well. So these came with screws as well as like sticky things, so you just stick them onto the wall. We did stick them at first, and then you actually slide the light into that, so that way you can slide it in and off and charge it when needed. But we had to go back and actually nail them into the wall. So the sticky part didn't really help. They fell off the wall. So yes, I do recommend actually using the nails that it comes with and then nailing that piece into the wall. After we let everything dry, then we went ahead and pulled the tape off. Chris kind of went into the corners and adjusted that where the caulking was so that it was the same color as the wall color. And now I'm putting everything back kind of how it was before Christmas, decorating this area up a little bit, and I'll show you the final result. I think that it looks so much better. It adds so much detail and texture. It's not that different from the way it was before, but it just really adds that elegant feel right into the entryway, and I absolutely love the way it turned out. I love the way that the lights look with it. Again, this is kind of the before. I had already painted it. Again, it was unfinished paint, so it just looked a little bit sloppy. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already, and I'll see you next week.